Hi, I'm Mollie from Clayla, and I'm here to answer a few of your burning questions today. Clayla, we're a painter and pottery studio. Originally, I had thought to open the studio because it was something that I grew up on in the States.
Okay.
And something that I used to do as a child a lot.
You're from the States?
Was born and raised in New York.
Okay.
And it was something that I used to do a lot as a child.
Okay.
And then when I came to Israel, they didn't have it. And I was like missing a place where I could go with my girlfriends and sit and have a bottle of wine and create and not commit to something like long term. An outlet for my creativity. I could choose whatever I want to.
Wow.
And that's kind of how it developed. I was an executive assistant to the CEO of a drilling company.
Okay.
Complete opposite of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
As an executive assistant, I was also dealing a lot with customers. I was doing a little bit of everything. And honestly, I don't think that I would have been able to, but it really assisted me in becoming a businesswoman. It taught me a lot of things. I think without that job, it would have been much harder for me. It really showed me, time frame, money, customers, developers, like everything. It gave me a taste of everything I needed to open my business.
What were your biggest worries, if I may
Opening?
ask?
When I opened?
Yeah.
My biggest fear was that people wouldn't come.
Okay.
That's like everyone's biggest fear, I think, when you open a business.
Yeah.
You think it's a great idea, but you have no idea if other people think it's a great idea.
So what was on the other side? On one side you said they didn't come.
On the inside, I knew that it was something that people wanted. Like I said to myself, if it's something that I need so desperately, there have to be more people like me out there.
Okay.
I only assume I can't be the only one.
Yeah.
I was hopeful.
And you were right.
And I was proved correct. Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
So COVID happened, the whole quarantine situation. What was your first thought when you've heard that everything is shutting down?
About 2 months before COVID, I came up with the idea of starting to do take-home kits. And I had planned like all the logistics, and the whole infrastructure was already set up.
Okay.
I had sleeves of paint, I had started marketing it. It was something that was already in motion. And then when COVID came, it took me like 2 or 3 days to like kind of gain my bearings. Like I was like, okay, what do I do now? But then I said, oh wait, we're all stuck at home. I'm ordering a bunch of things. People are looking for things to do.
Yeah.
This is something feasible that you can do at home. It's not something that's like I have to, it's very difficult to do at home. It's something super cool that you could do at home. And I started marketing it, and slowly but surely companies were reaching out to us, individuals were reaching out to us, people were having paint your own pottery birthday parties via Zoom.
Wow.
And it was super, super cool. Ways to keep your children entertained.
Okay.
Date night. It just kind of picked up, and it was amazing.
What's your thought about going online? Because, at first it would be, for me, my first thought would be, but you need to be there. So how can you go online?
I think everything is scary. If it's not something that I'm used to doing, it's intimidating. But I didn't have that option. You can't think twice. Because by the time you're thinking twice, that's it. The ship has left.
Yeah.
You have to do it, and you have to do it fast. And it wasn't perfect. In the beginning, we started sending, we would have pictures of each wall, and then people would focus us in on the pieces that they want. And with time, it evolved into a catalog and our highlights, and it made it much easier.
Okay.
But we started off rough. I mean, it wasn't like so easy straight off the bat. What was my marketing strategy? Honestly, no, I'm gonna tell you, you could edit this out because I don't have an answer. I felt my gut. Honestly.
No, usually people who don't have an answer, they just go with their guts.
I go with my gut.
Yeah.
I always try to do and behave to customers in a way that I would like to be treated. I like posting visuals that I would enjoy looking at. I like purchasing items that I would enjoy painting. And I just feed off that. I never had a marketing strategy. I just kind of like posted, saw what people liked, and took it from there.
As a mother, what's the difference running a business with a kid? What are the hardships?
Look, there's something amazing about having a business and a child. Clayla is my daughter's name. The store is named after her.
Yeah, okay.
Clayla she's my drive. She pushes me without physically pushing me to do amazing things. You know, she wakes me up in the morning. She gets me going.
Okay.
If I had the choice of doing it with or without a child, now in retrospect, I would probably still do it with a child. Look, it's very time consuming. I can't always be here, but maybe that's a good thing that I'm not always here. You know, maybe it's good to create that work-life balance.
Yeah.
If I didn't have a child, I would have been here 24/7, because that's just my personality. So, you know, even though there are times when I'm not here and like I feel like I'm missing out, but then I have, you know, each other.
As a mother, this whole COVID thing, how did it like influence your? Yeah.
Affect me? Well, my daughter was home with me for 2 months, so that was tricky. My husband's used for his job, he travels usually 2 weeks out of each month. So because he's now he's stuck in Israel. For me, it's a blessing. But so he was home to help me with Clayla. I have an amazing team of 4 women that work with me that were beyond helpful throughout this time. Amazing. Kept her inside, stayed safe. It's really hard being inside of a Tel Aviv apartment with a 1.5-year-old for 2 months.
That's for sure.
No backyard, no porch, nothing to do. But you know, we got through. We painted the walls a little bit.
Okay.
We got creative.
Based on what do you choose the people you work with, except your husband?
Except my husband. Well, I'm kind of stuck with him now. Based on what I choose the people that I work with, I'm aiming when I interview people. My goal, my top priority is that the customers have a nice experience. I need someone kind, nice, pleasant.
Okay.
I think it's very, very important. The product matters, right? The final product that people go home with, it's important. But I think the experience is everything. Yeah. If people didn't have a good experience, but the piece is nice, it's not worth it.
It's just a piece.
It's just a piece.
Yeah.
So I really try to find people that can give you that smile when you walk in, smile when you leave. You know that.
Do you have boys who come here, like men?
Of course. So they usually don't come by themselves. They usually come with groups of women. They're either partners or they come with groups. We have a lot of company events, and they like it. So they come with like groups of their girlfriends.
Yeah.
It's like their excuse. They bring the girls so that they.
It's really nice.
But we have a lot of people that are reaching out to us to do singles night.
Singles night. Okay.
So we have to think. We're thinking about it. It happened before the COVID, so we're working on it.
Okay.
I think that could actually be. I would love to share more part of who I am outside of Clayla, but it's difficult, like letting people in.
But you're also Clayla.
I am, but it becomes a little bit more personal. Like when I share with my life, my daughter, but not too much with my husband. You know, like I try to keep it separate. We're constantly surrounded by heaviness. All around us, especially now. That I try to keep it light, easy, not too many opinions on any matter.
What would you recommend for someone who wants to open a business? What's your thought on gratefulness, like being grateful?
I'm very grateful. This time, these past 2 months, I mean in general, I'm grateful. I'm blessed beyond. Amazing team, amazing family, health, amazing customers. I feel like I've created this community of so many kinds of people that I would have never gotten to meet anyplace else. And there are a lot of creative people in Israel.
Okay.
Like not only like tech savvy or like startups. People are insanely talented.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I love watching it. I mean, watching people create, it makes me so happy.
Okay.
It really, really fills me. But these past 2 months have proven to me that, everyone was so supportive. I mean, at the end of the day, we're a small family-owned business.
Yeah.
We still have our bills to pay, whether COVID, not COVID. We have our responsibilities. We have our suppliers. And people were just insanely supportive, bringing their companies for work events. And it was really, really humbling.
Great.
It was really humbling.
Do you feel any disadvantage because of your gender or anything?
Complete opposite.
Okay.
Complete opposite. I feel like it's so refreshing that people are drawn to it. I mean, I love it. I wouldn't, if I had the choice, I would still choose to be a woman business owner for sure.
Working together with your husband in a business, what is your advice? When to stop talking about work and start just being husband and wife, or is there anything, like any issue with this?
The biggest question of all. It's hard. It's really hard. We're both independent employees. I mean, we both work 24/7. It's definitely something. It's our third job. Working on spending time together. I'm finding that time together. It's hard. We try our best,
Yeah.
Times are crazy.
Coming from New York, what's your thought on Tel Aviv?
I love Tel Aviv. I love Israel. I mean, I made Aliyah with my family in high school. Finished high school here, did the army, and then after the army I moved back to the States. And I was there for a good 6 years. And after that, I missed Israel so much. There's something about Israel. It's tough, but everyone's so warm, and you feel a part of something. I feel like I belong. In general, for all of the short. It's hard. I'm telling you, it's hard. But have you been here for a summer yet? I don't know, there's something about it. Everyone's happy. There's music, you hear like music in the air.
What would you recommend for someone who wants to open a business?
To do it, always. I mean, if it's something that's a passion of yours, if it's something that drives you, that makes you happy, that, gets you up in the morning, puts you to sleep at night with a smile on your face, then do it. I always think it's important to be precautious. Don't take loans that you can't pay back. That's very important. Always plan as much as you can to the fullest extent, and then just go for it. There will be so many fears along the way that if you let them take over, you're never going to open. Like, I always kept on asking myself, I said, should I open? Should I not open? Should I open? Should I not open? And I said, okay, stop. When you're 90 and you didn't open, are you going to be upset at yourself? And my answer was, for sure. Like, I'd rather open and not succeed as opposed to not open and regret. You never know. You never know the answer.
How can people come here? Like, do they have to book or?
So pre-COVID, we were fully booked. Now, obviously, things are starting to pick up. I always think it's best to make a reservation no matter what.
Okay.
There were times that we turned people away, and I always feel terrible about it.
Yeah.
Especially now with COVID, we're allowed to be open, but we're only allowed a certain amount of people at each given time.
Okay.
So it is best to make a reservation.
Okay.
I mean, if you know that you want to come. If you're in the area and you want to stop by,
you can try.
Always.